The story starts with the Koenigsegg CCR. It costs £380,000 and it'll do 242 miles an hour. But when Tiff drove it last year, he found it a little underwhelming. Especially when it ground to a halt. Another temperamental supercar, we thought. Peter Saywell thought this bit of bad luck was the exception rather than the rule, and he's got a better idea than most because he actually owns two of these super rare Koenigsegg's. He owns a company which supplies spare parts to the aviation industry, and he agreed to let us into his garage and reveal the inside story on what it's really like owning two of the fastest cars in the world.
What drove me to buying a Koenigsegg was basically its looks. Looks in supercars are really the first thing which is so important about how you feel and what your passion for the car is. The performance was absolutely unbelievable, and I think with a lot of modern supercars they are somewhat tamed in terms of noise levels. It still has a rumbling V8 which is really the guts of what supercars are all about. And I said it's very rare, it's unique. Many people can go and buy a Porsche, a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but Koenigsegg's are made to order and very, very special.
Occasionally, Peter's cars have needed a bit of factory support, which is only a phone call away.
I can remember one particular instance in France when we did have a problem and we were by the roadside, and a quick phone call to the factory, and within half an hour we were back on the road. Other problems which we've had, I hasten to add, have not been great, but they do fly their technicians over to come and sort the car out, which again, the car is off the road for a very, very limited period. Apart from my love for the Koenigseggs, as you can see around me, I do have a passion for all the other types of supercars, the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, you name it in fact, but they're all very, very special in their own right.
So where did this passion for collecting supercars start?
Probably about 20 years ago, when I was running around in a Lotus Esprit in those days, and like all youngsters then, I had a craving to own a Lamborghini, and at that particular time the model that was current was the Countach. So I ended up going to a local showroom to buy such an animal, and in the same showroom was the Datamaster Pantera, which I'd never heard of in those days. A real butch-looking car, unbelievable performance compared to even today's cars.
So Peter bought both. They were to be the start of his collection of supercars.
What more can I say? The F40, one of the few cars which is actually appreciated in value over the years. A real collector's piece. 0 to 60 in about 3.7, which sort of going on from 16 years ago is still incredibly fast, and a lot of the cars in here would still not match it. The CLK DTM AMG, car built purposely to drive around the track. That's been around the track a few times at Goodwood. Really hangs on to the road, just like going around on rails. Puts everything else to shame, to be honest. Incredible to drive. Wonderful smooth gear change. A sheer delight. Somewhat rare, they only made 100 of them. The full GT, what more can you say? Modern day Pantera. Wonderful looking car. Unbelievable performance yet again. Carrera GT. Somewhat embarrassed to say I haven't even had the opportunity of driving this. Besides my passion for cars, I'm somewhat of a workaholic as well. Zonda F, incredible car, incredible company. Mr. Pagani himself, who I dealt with during the purchase of the car, nothing was too much trouble. And the day when it was finally handed over, a very special treat was put together for us. We had classical music, my favourite. The entire workforce was out there with the car when it was handed over to me. Champagne was flowing. Just really a special day. After a long, hard week, come home get a bottle of wine and just walk out round here and walk around the cars and enjoy the shapes of them and the colours. You know, lots of people collect paintings and they do exactly the same thing. They just look at them. And as I said, you know, when you've had a long tough day, just to walk around here, it's really relaxing, and you know, they are something which you're very proud of.